Well, greetings there, Sigma race fans. We come at you live here tonight from the Chili Bowl racing venue. It's the sole dirt track in our Sigma ARCA series, and we've got some new faces here duking it out with some of the best in ARCA, so get ready for a big one here tonight. On the front row, you got Philip Purpura alongside last race's winner, Snake Plissken. Then you've got Tim Morse and Mason Alexander III. Behind that, you got T.G. Castlenut and Sarah Robert. Jeremiah Pate with Juliana Bulls? I'd probably, I hope I got that right. Bolds. Alongside that, you've got Astro Atlas and Pedro Sales, Al Bunch and Cooper Landry, Timothy Buchanan and Marvin Werner, Reese Landry and Gabe McDuffie, Craig Popcris and Bucky Campbell, Kyle Chestnut and Chris Jeremio, Dylan Smith and Jamie McMurphy, Sebastian Galloway Jr. alongside Wormy Wormington, and Tyler McCarroll with Borat Sagdiev. So we're only doing one heat race here tonight. Top 20 in points are already locked into the main event. And so 6 drivers from the heat race here will transfer into the main event to make a grand total of 26 for the main event. $50 laps in this heat race. Top 6 is where you want to be. Ready to get down and dirty here tonight in the Sigma ARCA series as we take to the dirt for the only time this season. Things will start to get a little bit more normal going forward here, where we don't have to deal with heat races, especially at the next race where we've got a street circuit on the mix. Already off to the early lead, it's Purpura and Morse, followed by T.G. Castlenut, and now Pate up to 4th. Snake Plissken, your race winner last time out, he's dropped back to 5th here. That outside line is unforgiving. Laps are quick here, and they're going to be clipping away even quicker once we get into the dust. Plissken is your last transfer spot for now, but Al Bunch is going to take over on the inside line there. As visibility is very minimal here, we've got our first caution of the day, and that may be the day over for a driver here. The 69 of Cooper Landry stuck 3 wide in the middle of the turn there. Oh, and he lost track of where he was going on track and clips the pit wall on the outside. That's a hard place to hit. Oh. So as they run right now, Philip Purpura, Tim Morse, Jeremiah Pate, Todd, Mr. T.G. Castlenut. I've been corrected on that once. We call him T.G. Castlenut. Followed by the 48 of Astro Atlas and Al Bunch. Those would be your 6 drivers transferred in as of right now. Just on the outside looking in, it's Snake Plissken, Mason Alexander III, Craig Popcris, Timothy Buchanan, Kyle Chestnut, Sarah Robert, Juliana Bold, Reese Landry, Dylan Smith, Sebastian Galloway Jr., Pedro Sales, Marvin Werner, Tyler McCarroll, Gabe McDuffie, Bucky Campbell, Borat Sagdiev, Chris Jeremio, Wormy Wormington, and Jamie McMurphy. Lights are off on the pace car. Single file restarts on the short tracks. This should give these drivers a chance to kind of recoup and recover. And instead of getting doubled up and losing traction, they can maybe now fight for a position ahead of them. Al Bunch on the move here. Astro Atlas right behind him. Al Bunch making a move to get by TG Castlenut. Castlenut very much in a tough spot here if he gets back on the bubble. Running in 5th as Snake Plissken jumps up to 6th here. Lap times are blitzing quick here at the Chili Bowl, as these drivers don't even have much of a they don't even have a second to breathe going around this short track. These cars are almost in the 11-second bracket. 12.045 fastest lap here today, turned by Al Bunch. And we've got yet another caution here. Whoa! Pace car comes right out alongside your leaders. Let's see what, the 91 of Jamie McMurphy had a hard hit somewhere on the track. This is, ARCA racing after all, so you're going to see some wild wrecks. And I think this may have very well taken the cake for a wild wreck. 94, Reese Landry spins out there, collects the 91 in the dust, not able to see where they were going. $50 laps might be a quick race, but with the cautions, it definitely stretches things out here, as it makes for a little bit longer duration to get through this heat race. 6 drivers are going to come out making it into the main, and as of right now, it's a very intriguing cast at the front here, as these are all newcomers for the most part. Purpura trying to make it their first career start ever. Morse also in the same boat. Al Bunch, this would only be about his 3rd career Sigma ARCA start, as it would be the 2nd career start for Snake Plissken. And then another newcomer, Jeremiah Pate and Mason Alexander III, both of which looking to meet their season series debut. Astro Atlas on the outside right now, alongside Sarah Robert. TG Castlenut was in the top 6, but got a little bit out of sorts there, falling back to 9th. Let the lap traffic around the pace car here so that we don't have to deal with too much side-by-side racing with lap traffic. Here we go. Getting back for the restart. Purpura with the lead here. Morse, Bunch, Plissken. And here's that bubble spot we're going to keep our eye on. Astro Atlas trying to jump back by Alexander III. And we can't even get racing without another caution breaking loose. There ain't even going to be 6 cars finish this race at this rate we're going. Quite evident once you start seeing that these drivers are not used to driving on the dirt. This is definitely a wild card race. The drivers, I don't think, had much experience learning the track here today. And so what we're seeing is raw, unexperienced talent. And they are talent. I mean, these drivers are in the ARCA series for one reason or another. But sometimes you get thrown a curveball that just makes it hard to learn on the fly. Still pretty much everyone running, only 2 retirements here, but a lot of cars rough for the wear. We're slowly approaching half of this race being run under caution at the pace we're going to. That would be a unique situation to be in. Okay, let's get back to racing here, folks. Pace car is going to pull off here on the outside of the track where the pits are. Final transfer spot at the moment belongs to Astro Atlas, as she's trying to hold on the newcomers in the league here. Wow, Al Bunch is going to get hung out high to dry here. So if any are tuning in, it's just the heat race right now. Top 6 in this heat race move on to the main event, where the top 20 in points are already locked in to the 150 lap race here this evening. Been quite exciting watching the racing at the front here as that transfer spot continues to change hands. And there's lap traffic there, the 96 lap down, as Astro Atlas last in the transfer spot, getting around the 96. We've got Pedro Sales creeping into the picture now. He could try to fight for that transfer spot. Whoa, the 96 gets a little loose there. And we're under caution yet again here. Well, Purpura from the lead had to go down pit road for whatever reason. And I'm just trying to figure out what the caution may have been for. Anyways, let's hop back to the lead where the race is getting back going. Snake Plissken out up front now, as Tim Morrison second, Al Bunch in third, Astro Atlas fourth, Pate fifth, and now Pedro Sales, your last transfer spot, in sixth. But here comes TG Castlenet on a tear. TG wants to get into the show yet again. He's been stumped a few too many times in the last month, getting locked out of the main event, and gets around Pedro Sales there to take the transfer spot. Now Pate on the cutting board here as he's fallen back to sixth. The zero, Pedro Sales knocking on the door. Sales gets by Pate there. Although it's not, not looking promising for some of these newcomers to make the show tonight. It's only one race. There's going to be a lot more opportunities to run with them here. And heat races are often, tough to juggle. And with this race tonight, they might as well, at least appreciate the fact they got some seat time before making a main event. And they'll be here, and they're gonna keep fighting to try and make the most of it in their Sigma ARCA career. Snake Plissken out there, out front again, like we've seen him in the last two races. Astro Atlas, Tim Morse, TG Castlenut, Al Bunch, and now Gabe McDuffie gets by the 0 of Sales. Juliana Bold also showing up at the end here. She's trying to get into the top 6. A little bit of work to do as she has to get around the 0 and the 03. Those that don't... Oh, no, the 42 loses it. Trying a little too hard there, I believe. And that should bring out one last caution. We will try to get the race back going for one final restart. What would likely be a green-white checkered restart here in the 50-lap heat. Doesn't seem like anyone else has heeded the caution flag yet, as Plissken is still out front driving away. 2 laps to go. I don't think we're going to get this one back going. It might be over before we can even get it restarted. Lights might go off on the pace car here. Yes, they will. So 49, we're going to have a green-white checkers. As wacky and wild as that's going to be. Currently it is, the lights turned back on the pace car. They didn't like the setup, so looks like that's going to be your lineup here. Your top 6 transferring to the main event. It's going to be Snake Plissken, Astro Atlas, Tim Morse, TG Castlenut, Al Bunch, and Gabe McDuffie. We have better cautions disabled for short tracks because of the inherent danger for the game to crash. So no green-white checkers, no double file restarts. We just got to roll with the traditional NR2003 rules package. And so that's why I was trying to give us a shot here to get a green-white checkers, but it was all for naught. Unfortunately, those that are going home include the 0 of Pedro Sales, the 96 of Tyler McCarroll, 79 of Sarah Robert. Jeremiah Pate, after having a strong start to the race, falls out to 9th. Dylan Smith, Chris Jeremio, Wormy Wormington, Craig Popkris, Borat Sagdiev, Kyle Chestnut, Reese Landry, and Juliana Bowles. So hold tight, folks. It ain't going to take long to get the main event set up here. We're really getting down to the end of the season here. 8 races left, and it's really up for grabs. This ARCA championship, I would say, is still about five drivers in the mix. As it stands, Jonah Burridge has a 24-point lead over Finley Herwig, 68-point lead over Heen Clutchoke, 73-point lead over Ralph Oberstadt, and 75-point lead over Ryan White and Santi Messi. So, you know, with 8 races left, there's still a lot of points up for grabs, and any one of those drivers I just mentioned, you might still have a chance to see them fighting for the championship before it's all said and done. We've seen how volatile this series gets, where sometimes a driver has a good week, they'll next have a bad week. So consistency is key, but I don't think there's been a whole lot of consistency throughout all the ARCA series. So if someone can find the consistency, it'll be a championship under their belt. So brief intermission here, folks. We're getting it ready. It's only going to take about another minute here as I get the roster adjusted.
Touch all your seatbelts, connections, touch your Hans. Just make sure you get everything like you want it. Favor, touch all your seatbelts, touch all your connections, touch your Hans. Just make sure.
Alrighty, time for the main event here tonight, folks. It'll be a quick one. 150 laps around Chili Bowl Racetrack does go by pretty quickly. And so on the front row, we've got Snake Plissken and Santi Messi, followed by Tim Morse and Al Bunch. Skylar Groover alongside her teammate, Chase Kovacic. TG Castlenut and Astro Atlas, a pair that made it through the heat race. Top 10 there. Finley Herwig and Campbell Marsh. Craig Bush and Jonah Burridge. Ace Vaden, Brandon Butler II. Tasha Wright, Gabe McDuffie. Carlos Eduardo and Taylor Cording, Shy Turtle and Cassie Perkins, Ryan White, Stephen Miller, Kaylee Sheets, Ralph Oberstadt, Heen Clutchoke, and Billy Lovejoy. So some big names starting deep in the field here tonight. 150 laps on the dirt. It's about to get wild. Honestly, Snake Plissken is making a bid for the most unexpected talent to just pop up out of nowhere. Newcomer on the league and already showing speed and power. It's definitely going to come with the territory of being in an Al Bunch incorporated ride. Now, ABI has been trying to figure things out. They've been making some big changes. And the game crashes again, which has been pretty much status quo all week. Yeah, that's at least it crashed before the race started, so there's that. We can get things back and rolling pretty easily here. I learned last night that you don't even have to reset the whole computer apparently, because when it crashes, the ticker will still work. So we'll try this again here.
Favor, touch all your seatbelts, touch all your connections, touch your Hans. Just make sure you...
We'll see if the starting lineup changes significantly here.
Favor, touch all your seatbelts.
Well, it did change a little bit, but it's still Snake Plissken with the pole alongside his teammate, Tim Morse. Al Bunch really laying it on heavy here in the ARCA series with the new talent. You've got Groover now starting 4th, Chase Kovacic 5th, Al Bunch a little deeper there, but some bigger names back up in the mix, as it looks like Billy Lovejoy is going to gain the most from the game crashing that first time there. So he's starting about top 10, top 15. We'll see if the ticker works. I can't guarantee you that the ticker will work, in fact, as I kind of thought that when the game crashes like that, I had to do a full factory reset of the computer. And so there's a good chance here that I'll just have to give the play-by-play call without a ticker to provide us any updates. Got Kovacic on the inside line now, moving up to 2nd as he closes the door on the number 5. These are the 26 best of the best, so perhaps we'll see a race with minimal cautions here. It is Sigma ARCA after all, though, and cautions prone to breeding cautions, so we'll see. Al Bunch makes a bold move getting up to 2nd there. Kovacic settles into 3rd, and he's got his teammate Campbell Marsh now on the move. That inside line is key no matter what racetrack you go to. The inside line is king. And tonight is no different. Getting that inside berm and you start making moves. If you stick someone to the outside, you're going to move to the front. Just like that, you see the 77 of Kovacic gets stuck up high, and now the 5 moving to the front. Campbell Marsh alongside Al Bunch here as they're racing for position. Snake Plissken is driving away. But lap traffic is going to be very hard to navigate here. And Snake may be a great leader. We'll see how well he manages dealing with traffic. Campbell Marsh settles into 2nd now as he got by the 80 of Al Bunch. Now moving up into 4th, you've got Kaylee Sheets knocking on the door of 3rd. Kovacic finds the inside line here, and look at that, TG Castlenut joining the party at the front of the field. A lot of comers and goers, as they say, as the frantic racing action continues to pick up. Each lap a little bit more wild than the last one. Snake Plissken out front with fast lap of a 12.148, but the fastest lap belongs to TG Castlenut a little bit further back in the field at a 12.062. It is not unheard of that we've had races here at the Chili Bowl where they've dominantly led every lap and sometimes even lap half the field or more. Snake Plissken's got only 150 laps to work with here tonight, so chances are he ain't gonna lap the entire field. But the way he's rolling, he's gonna have a good night here. A few drivers not having a great night though. Finley Herwig in that points battle. As I already mentioned, he's 24 points out of the lead on Jonah Burridge. And a bad race here tonight will only sink him further in that points battle. Jonah Burridge, if we look in ahead here, having a decent day. Or is he? No, he's at the back of the field, 26th. Dead last. So your 2 points leaders having a rough go of it, but it looks like Finley Herwig's found that inside line and he's moving to the front. He's getting alongside Ralph Oberstadt here, and that should be for about mid-pack. I'd say about 17th. So far, so good. 21 laps in, no cautions. And now is when I think your leader's going to start tasting the tail end of the field here. Campbell Marsh just turned his fastest lap in the race, a 12.168. Snake Plissken, though, turning faster laps at 12.145. There's very, very little room for error on a track this small. You make one hiccup, and it costs you a whole lot of time. Kaylee Sheets now up to third. Al Bunch slots his way into fourth. Chase Kovacic 5th, Santi Messi 6th, TG Castlenut 7th, and here comes Shy Turtle now up to 8th. Wow, look at Finley Herwig making a dashing recovery here. He was 26th about 6 laps ago, and now he's into the top 10. That is championship caliber racing right there. 68 knows what he wants, and he's going for it. And he's continuing to pick them off one by one as he closes up on the 09. That's for 8th place. So Finley trying to make a big bounce in the points here tonight rather than a big bust. Tim Morse turned the fastest lap now at a 12.052. It seems like the speed's coming out as the gas starts trickling away. Snake Plissken, though, very unusual to see someone this new come out of the gate swinging with pure power. Now is where the true test begins. Is he going to be able to deal with the lap traffic? Sometimes you make mistakes when you get dealing with lap traffic like this. Just look at his team owner, Al Bunch, who has hated everything it has to do with lap traffic in the way. Oh, Plissken made a mistake there and clipped the wall. Drove a little too hard on the exit of the turn there. Yeah, the lap traffic is kind of throwing off his racing line here as he's trying to find a different approach to get around him. Lap times have already suffered. He's down to a 12.262. Picked it up that time at a 12.17. Whoa, shoot. No, out of the lead, Snake Plissken and Jonah Burridge. Kind of lost it in the dust there. Holy cow, man. That's a tough break. Oh. Well, traumatic in, yeah, I think must have overcorrected and lost it there. Try to figure out what happened to Jonah Burridge, who's your current points leader. There must have been a spot on the track there. Both of them lost it in the same spot. Yeah, as you can see. Even the 09 gets a little wide there. It's amazing that only 2 cars lost it. Well, that is our first caution for the leader of the race, unfortunately wrecking out here tonight. So that changes a little bit of everything, as now your number 1 in the points is out. The 24 who led all the laps leading up to this caution out of the race. And now your new leader, Campbell Marsh, followed by Kaylee Sheets, Al Bunch, Santi Messi, Chase Kovacic, TG Castlenut, Astro Atlas, Finley Herwig, Ace Faden, and Brandon Butler II. 109 laps left to go. We're already pretty much 10 minutes into the 30-minute race here tonight. Whoa, Kaylee Sheets makes a big move there, knocking Campbell Marsh to the outside, taking the lead away from the 99. Santi Messi, wow, he was looking to bump and pass as well. Our drivers are driving a little bit too reckless here. Still a lot of racing to go. You don't want to start bumping and banging and losing it. So in the meanwhile, it's Kaylee Sheets, Santi Messi, and now TG Castlenut up to third. TG Castlenut also, everyone's kind of roughing up on Campbell Marsh here as they just want to get to the front ASAP. TG Castlenut turned the fastest lap in the race now, up to second. 100 laps left to go, and he's going to have to hunt down Kaylee Sheets out front. So we knew that lap traffic now factors in after about 35 laps of green flag action. We'll see if it's going to factor in again here through 35 laps. TG Castlenut struggling to find a comfortable line here in the dirt. So many berms and other things start to develop on dirt tracks like this, and finding the happy line is not always easy. Almost looks like TG Castlenut's getting into the berm on the outside of the racing line, and it's making him lose control here a little bit. Back-to-back laps there where he's really struggling to get the power down on track. Allowed Santi Messi to move up to second on him. All in the meanwhile, Kaylee Sheets out front, leading some laps here after the turmoil that fell upon Snake Plissken wrecking out from the lead. Al Bunch struggling a little bit here as well, as the dirt blinds everyone's vision here, really. Wow, Finley was up into the 8th position. He's dropped back to 13th now. But no matter what happens here tonight, he's going to gain points on the leader, who also wrecked out in that first caution of the night. Finley, all he's got to do is get 24 points on Jonah Burridge, and if he finishes about top 10, that should be enough to get 24 points and the points lead back. The other driver he's going to have to keep his eye out on is the 16 of Heen Clutchoke for LFG Motorsports. LFG Motorsports is the defending champion team of the Sigma ARCA series, where they had the number 19 of Wyatt Wilkinson, take home the championship for them last year. LFG Motorsports has been on a bit of a struggle here in 2025, but the bright glimpse is the 16 team, who have came alive here towards the latter end of the season. His last 3 finishes have been a 4th, a 5th, and a 3rd. Those are all coming on short tracks. So here tonight, it's a short track, but it's also a dirt track. Great unknown. And so we'll see how the 16 fares climbing the ladder. One thing I can tell for certain is it doesn't quite transition over from the short track strength that we've seen from these drivers onto the dirt. It's a whole different ballpark. And we're seeing a lot of interesting faces and different places at the front of the field here. TG Castlenut getting around the 09 of Shy Turtle, who's going yet a lap down here. 2 laps down. Yet again under caution here. Didn't even get back to the tail end of the field. Let's see what perhaps transpired here. See some damage on the 60 car. It might have been Tim Morse. Well, his car, no caution yet. There's a sideways car. Oh, Al Bunch made the same mistake as his teammate. Almost kind of wonder if the speed's a little too heavy on some of these cars, that they're just flying in there a little too fast. But it's same thing again with the 09 of Shy Turtle, also making the mistake in that turn. We've seen similar situation back to back now. They overcorrect. Yeah, the 09 overcorrected there as well, losing it. But it's not a, not a day ender like the 80 there, who gets harpooned into the sidewall. It's just a very, tricky spot on the track apparently. And not everyone's made that mistake, just a select few. As long as you can avoid making that mistake here tonight, you're going to come out victorious. Lights are off on the pace car. We'll get reset here with pretty much halfway through the race. 75 in, 75 to go. Shy Turtle retired after the accident. Wow, actually quite a few retirements that we missed there. The 00 of Groover and the 18 of Vaden. Rather, not Vaden. Craig Bush retired out. So Kaylee Sheets leads the way. Campbell Marsh now back into second, where he's been earlier in the night. Brandon Butler the second making a move. I heard some crumbling noises, crunching. I don't know if there's going to be a caution, but keep your eyes out for the caution. Stay green. My ears tend to be my second set of eyes, that I can hear stuff in the race that we may not be seeing right away. And it seems like maybe it was someone just getting into the wall or making a mistake, because it didn't force a caution, whatever it was. TG Castlenut settles back into third here, getting around in the 99 of Marsh. Also moving through the field, 77 of Kovacic back on the mend. Ace Vaden looking solid. All in the meanwhile, Kaylee Sheets holding the steady wheel at the front here. Kind of feel like Finley Herwig might be safetying up here a little bit, trying to avoid making a big mistake. At this point, he's championship racing, trying to preserve what he can out of a finish here at a very, very tough to beat track, such as the Chili Bowl. Whoa, look at that. The 54 gets way loose, forcing it 3 wide with the 70 of Ryan White and the 16 of Clutch Oak. Clutch Oak making a move on the inside of the 54. And you're not far from your top 10 right there, as you've got the 03 of Gabe McDuffie running in 10th. Astra Atlas in 9th. She's had one hell of a night so far. 83 of Stephen Miller. The 19 of Ace Vaden. 77 of Chase Kovacic, with his teammate right in front of him, the 99 of Campbell Marsh. Santi Messi, TG Castlenut. Brandon Butler the second in what very well may be one of his best runs yet to date. And Kaylee Sheets seems to always figure it out on these short tracks, even if it's dirt. Alrighty, now that Kaylee Sheets is catching up to the tail end of the lead lap field, we'll see if she can hold the lead for the remainder of this 55 laps to go. Oh, and we're under caution yet again. Almost when you think we're going to catch up to lap traffic, get another caution to slow down the pace. Oh, wow, no way. Kaylee Sheets runs into the 78 lap down car. Well, not lap down yet, but now he's going to be trapped a lap down because of the leader wrecking him. Man, that was mild. Well, it looks like they were safetying up for the spinners ahead of them. Seems like when one driver makes a mistake, everyone follows in line. And it's like a courtesy wreck, one might argue. They see the one driver wreck in front of him and they'll follow suit and do the same thing. So now TG Castlenut's going to be right behind Kaylee Sheets on the restart here. Oh, wow. Kaylee gets one hell of a start there, leaving the 63 in her dust. TG Castlenut needs to recover here as number 5 on the attack. Gets around him, pushing him to 3rd. Oh, TG finally finds some clear space to settle in here. But now's where it's going to get down to business. If you want to get the win here tonight, you're going to have to work your way through the dust and debris as we have yet another caution here. Oh, Finley. Finley involved in a wreck this time. And that's just more of the same that we've seen here. That one corner is treacherous for these drivers. Well, we're trying to get this show back on the road as it's getting derailed here within the closing stanza. Go ahead and take the pace laps away so we can get back and racing it ASAP here. Wave around the lap traffic. Kaylee Sheets will lead them to the restart here with 43 laps to go. She's got the lead over Santi Messi, TG Castlenut, Ace Vaden, and Steven Miller. Santi Messi would be a repeat winner on the season, but for the most part, everyone else would be a new winner, not yet to victory lane. I don't know why the pace car decided to come back out. Turn the lights on for one lap, turn the lights back out. I guess aborted that restart for whatever reason. So let's try this again. Pace car's off. Kaylee Sheets with the lead. Slow roll to the restart lane. And here we go. Better restart, a lot closer. Kaylee Sheets wasn't able to bounce away with that one as she has the last couple times. Definitely got to see a lot more racing in the main event here compared to the wreckfest that was the first heat to set the field. Castlenut making a move, getting back up to second, and now he's going to have his sights set on the 66 of Kaylee Sheets. Sheets now dealing with a little bit of lap traffic here. That's going to open the door for Castlenut to close the gap. And now your top 3, the closest they've been in a while. Out of nowhere, Chase Kovacic bumps his way up to 4th there. Caution rings out on track yet again. And it's another driver taking a trip into the pit wall. Just when the racing was getting exciting there. Come on, guys and gals, let's get the show back rolling. Yes, this is the Sigma ARCA series. This is a bunch of ARCA drivers that are prone to mistakes. But we're getting so close to the end. Why are we making bonehead mistakes at the closing. Wow, that one was way out of line. 35 overcorrected and paid the ultimate price. It's very, very unusual the way they're wrecking here tonight. But at least it's not everyone, you know? It could be worse. It could be every lap. Alrighty. Back and rolling for the restart here. Kaylee Sheets, Santi Messi, and TG Castlenut in third. Chase Kovacic up to fourth. Steven Miller still holding on to a top 5. And now we've got Ryan White in the mix. Another one of those drivers that's in the points battle. Heen Clutchoke in the top 10. So that points battle is only going to continue to tighten up here at the front of the field. As Finley Herwig having a bit of a struggle at the late stages of this one. TG Castlenut getting passed over for fourth. Leader dealing with lap traffic, and it's not holding her up yet. But Santi Messi right there on the inside, hoping to pounce. "26 laps left to go." Someone's going to get crowned the Chili Cheese 150 winner here tonight. And it's going to become one of those races that you want to put on your mantle. It's hard to win just because it's that much harder to race at here. And we're seeing all kinds of craziness here tonight, proving just how hard it is for these ARCA drivers to tangle with this track. Lap traffic's kind of lighting up here. Not as big of a factor as I thought it might be. And here's Ryan White now up to third. Ryan White would be a repeat winner on the season, as is Santi Messi. And Chase Kovacic for that matter. Caution yet again. Drats. Just when the racing gets good too, damn. Let's get this race back going right away. I'm impatient. I think everyone else may be a little bit too, because it's so late on the East Coast. I'm surprised I've even gotten 2 people tuned into the race here tonight. Thank you for all you that have tuned in tonight, soldiering on here with me. This was going to be one of the quicker races anyways, and I didn't expect it to last too long into the night, so a little bit of Sigma after hours never hurt anyone. 78 retired from that caution. The 54 gets the wave around. We'll have to maybe reconvene with the 78 of Ralph Oberstadt with a replay after the race. But for now, we're getting set for the restart, and someone's going to win this race. Man, TG Castlenut keeps showing his speed, but still making mistakes to fall backwards here too. Oh, here we go. TG making some momentum up on the back of the 5 here. Sizing up the competition. He's got 15 laps left to do anything. And he's going to have to get around the 5 and the 66 as yellow again here tonight. The 90 of Tasha Wright loses it. So maybe something we can edit out of this track. I don't personally know. It's just one of the reasons why you won't see this on the Cup schedule. The amateurish racing definitely fits ARCA, but I would not give us a Cup race here. Trucks and ARCA, though, that's a different story. We're willing to push the boundaries a little bit for ARCA and trucks because they are kind of your fringe, you know, series anyways. And tonight, yeah, it's been an ARCA race. That's all I can say about it. It's been ARCA through and through. Sometimes you're going to have some great ones. Sometimes you're going to have clunkers. And I'd say this one falls kind of in the middle. It's not exactly a clunker. It's not exactly a shiny gem either. For some added drama here, I'm not going to do the wave around. We're going to let the lap car start with the leaders here. We'll see how that goes. This would be the final restart where lap traffic gets to start with your leader, as after 10 laps to go, that doesn't factor in anymore. Well, just like that, it is throwing a curveball for a couple of our leaders here. The 5, Santi Messi, trying to get around the 54, and he's getting held up. That's going to open the door for Ryan White to try and take second place. Whoa, the 54 gets loose right in front of the 5, and it's getting ugly as the 5 had to let out of it there just to save his own keister. All in the meanwhile, it is the 66 way out front now. Kaylee Sheets just has to survive and hope for the race to stay green here. Kovacic now up to second as TG Castlenut finds his way back up to third. Makes a mistake and recovers pretty much every time. TG now on the move trying to get second away from Kovacic. But is he going to have even enough time to catch up to the 66 who's out front leading? TG up to second. Kaylee's way out front there. And now with 4 laps to go, it's down to who's got the speed. Who's got the faster car? Is it going to be Kaylee that holds on? As long as she don't make a mistake here, she's going to be hard to beat. Mistakes have been aplenty here tonight, though, so don't rule out that unfortunate circumstance that could still bite the 66 in the butt. However, she's going to see the white flag. I'm amazed we're actually going to see a white flag. I figured this race was going to end under caution. Still, you know, it could still happen. We've got one more lap, but here is the white flag waving. Kaylee Sheets has one more lap around to get the job done. As she heads into turn 3, on the exit of turn 4, Kaylee Sheets is going to come home with a victory here tonight at the Chili Bowl. Coming home second, it's TG Castlenut. Third, Chase Kovacic. Fourth, Ryan White. And fifth, Brandon Butler the second. Other notables, Billy Lovejoy comes home with a 9th. Finley Herwig with an 11th. Ace Vaden, Tim Morse, Campbell Marsh. And Heen Klutchoke with a 16th. Gabe McDuffie with a 15th. And that, folks, is a wrap here tonight from the Chili Bowl. Wild race through and through. We get to see Kaylee Sheets secure her first victory here in 2025. And that points battle is getting a little bit tighter at the front. We'll see after points are scored up who's in the mix and how things shake out once the dust all settles here. And we made it through with just one game crash here tonight. I do think it has a lot to do with starting the game, finishing a race, closing the game, starting the game back up, and then it'll crash, it seems like. But the good news is once I get back into the race, the ticker stays up, which wasn't the case with my laptop. So now the technology is working a little bit more conveniently for me. So thanks again, folks, for tuning in. I know it's a late one. This was either going to be run tonight or broadcasted on a earlier time tomorrow. So well, with that, we've got the one more Bridge to Cup race that needs run, and the Cup race that'll be run too this week. So 2 more races to look forward to this week. Bridge to Cup, with the game crashing on me, forced me to kind of speed run the series a little bit, and we'll have it all pretty much caught up with some extra races pumped out earlier than usual. Cup, we're still on schedule to keep things rolling with the Cup Series without much hiccups. So, but trucks, ARCA, Bridge to Cup are done for the week, other than one more Bridge to Cup race tomorrow probably, and the Cup race. With that, folks, I would love to bid y'all a great night. Stay safe out there, and until next time, this is Jakester signing